Your glasses are arguably the most personal item that you own, and that is why it is so special to have a pair of glasses made bespoke for you. And no glasses are customized more than Cartier. So in today's video, I'm going to be taking you through a step-by-step process of how you can make your Cartier eyewear perfect for you. So hi, I'm Robert, Style and Vision Consultant here at the Spectacle Factory, and it's my job to pair you with your perfect pair of glasses. And getting your first pair of Cartier, or your second, or your third, is always a special moment. And the only thing that can make that moment even more special is when it's a one-of-a-kind Cartier. If you really truly want to make your Cartier glasses what they ought to be, as special as they can be, personalization is the way to do it. Let's go through that step-by-step process. So the first thing to do with your new Cartier glasses is to customize the size and the shape. And by the way, this video pretty much exclusively refers to rimless glasses. It's the Cartier rimless glasses that are the most special after all. For example, this is a pair of Panther de Cartier rimless frames. Beautiful pair of glasses finished in platinum, but the stock shape that they come with is entirely ordinary. You could walk down the street and you'll see dozens of people with a pair of glasses in this kind of shape. And ultimately, it is the shape of the glasses that has the most effect on the aesthetic. So here are a couple of Panther de Cartier frames that we have modified to change the shape and the tint. And we will get to the tint a little bit later on. But the first shape that I want to show you is this, which I'm not even sure how to categorize because this is a shape that we created in-house. I guess it's modeled on a pilot shape, the quintessential kind of aviator look, but with a much more sophisticated edging around the top corner. Instantly, that transforms this pair of glasses from a nice pair of glasses into a fun pair of glasses, a pair of glasses that actually has some style about it. And that's not just down to the panthers on the side of the arms. It's all about the shape. Yes, the panthers stand out, and I would argue that they stand out even more so by being attached to this really cool shape. As you can see, these glasses don't have nearly the same presence as this pair. And of course, part of that is down to the tint as well. We're going to come on to tinting as the next step. But the first thing is to get that sizing right. But the choice is literally unlimited because with these being rimless glasses, you can put any lens shape into any of the frames. So this is the exact same frame with a shield shape. Obviously, this is a little bit undersized, and a lot of people who do have smaller faces tend to gravitate towards Cartier because of that ability to customize the sizing as well as the shape. So you could have this shield shape in a larger size if needed. You could have it in an oversized size if you needed it for those with larger heads. But for someone who's a little bit on the smaller side, this would fit really, really well. And one of the things you need to speak to your optician about when you're ordering your Cartier glasses is the sizing, because there is that opportunity to have them made to measure. But you can see just how different this same frame is in 3 different shapes, from the stock, ordinary rectangular shape, through to the shield, through to that kind of modern pilot shape. And it goes on, because we also have on the table a cedar Cartier in wood. Again, this is the stock shape. And that lets down really the beautiful brown wood temples that make this frame special. Take this red wood Cartier frame. Would you believe these are the exact same frame, the exact same model of glasses? Obviously the color is a little bit different. This is in the red wood. This shape makes them into a truly cool and youthful style. And that's the reason why so many young people are wearing Cartier, because that ability to customize them can make what is kind of a retro traditional style into something that's incredibly modern with that vintage look. And that's what actually appeals to me most about Cartier as a brand, because they are true to their principles. They have that vintage vibe going on, but they're still cool and contemporary in 2023. Now, that leads me nicely onto the tinting, because once you've selected the exact shape and size of lens, the next thing is to determine what kind of tint is going to go on there. And you'll have noticed so far we've had 3 different tints, from the apricot in the shield shape, to the blue in the pilot shape, to the red to tie in with the red temples on this frame. And again, the choices are almost unlimited, from a very slight tint, which to be fair, I don't actually have an example today, but I guess the frame that I was wearing at the start of the video is a good example. This is a 12% blue tint. So you can take anything from this, and by the way, this would just lend a bit of definition to the lens shape, so I always recommend at least this level of tint, through to a kind of mid-range gradient like this, which is still perfectly fine and usable indoors, but adds a bit of color to the glasses, all the way through to a sunglass tint, as we're going to get to later on. And that tint color that you choose is going to determine A, the usability of your glasses, and B, just how statement they are, just how much presence and impact they're going to have on others around you. If you really want to blend in, go with a very light tint like this. If you want to wear your glasses as a showstopper, this is the kind of tint to go with. And using something called adaptive sun technology, you can have it where they're this level of tint indoors and then transition to a full-on sunglass tint outdoors, which is one of my personal favorite lens options. But when you're thinking about tinting, it's not just about the actual tint color. It's a combination of the tint color and the finish on the lens. And what I mean by that is, for example, this Panther de Cartier frame has an amber flash coating on it. And that amber flash coating is one of my favorite finishes to recommend with the gold pieces that Cartier make. Now, that's a very subtle finish. Hence it's a flash coating. It's not a fully mirrored lens. But what it means is that when your glasses catch the light, they look ultra premium. They look really expensive, and it really elevates any Cartier frame. You can get a similar finish called diamond, which has a silver, which would tie in, of course, with the platinum styles. But there are lots of different colors you can get. For example, the Blue and Beyond that I'm about to show you in a minute has a sapphire finish that has a blue reflective coating to it. I've made separate videos about the different color combinations that you can create, but that is a really nice finishing touch on your glasses. And this new Panther de Cartier rimless, by the way, is, I think, intended to be a lady's style, but I personally choose to believe that it's a man's frame for those who are very comfortable in their sexuality. I really, really like it. I think it's very edgy, ultra fashionable. I think you do have to have a lot of confidence to wear it, especially as a guy. But if you have that confidence and you're comfortable with yourself, this is a really cool style to wear, and one that you will not see many people wearing. This is a new release for 2023. And I actually love it. The way that the Panthers are now protruding from the front of the lens, definitely a statement, definitely not for everybody, but it is a really cool touch and it makes these glasses really different. But this piece leads me nicely on to the next element of customization, which is the faceting and design cuts, as they're known. So faceting is where we have this polished or chamfered edge that reflects and catches the light. It's something that's rarely seen outside the world of Cartier, but it adds a detail to your glasses that can be subtle. In this case, these are very, very slim facets, but you can also get really heavy, really dominant facets that reflect a lot of light. But overall, it's something that can really make your glasses look that little bit more intentional, that little bit more considered. Like someone who would notice that detail would know that you have put thought into your eyewear and that you are someone who looks at every detail and considers every little aspect of your eyewear, which represents you as a person as well. So for those with an eye to detail who like that real finishing touch, those facets can be added on. Now, a really popular element of customization, with Cartier glasses in particular, is photochromic technology. So this is where you can have glasses which are clear indoors and sunglasses outdoors. And the Blue and Beyond series from Cartier houses those as stock lenses within some of the best-selling Cartier designs. This is another new model for 2023. I'm really spoiling you guys today, but this has the Blue and Beyond technology. So you'll see that as the lenses catch the light, you'll get that blue reflection, that blue hue off the surface. That gives them a slight tint indoors, which I think is really cool. But when exposed to UV, this lens is going to darken and darken and darken until they become full sunglass lenses. And I get asked all the time, can this be replicated in my prescription? Yes, we love making these in prescription for people. We can make them do exactly the same thing. You would not be able to tell the difference. And we can even fit this technology to lots of different frames as well. But here's one lens activated, just to show you how much difference there is. And that's within 30 seconds of activation with UV. Now the sapphire finish on these does actually have an extra use. It's not just aesthetic. It does mean that in brighter light conditions like I'm in now, it'll reflect some of the light away from your eyes. So it does make your eyes a little bit more comfortable. I personally prefer to have either a tint or a flash coating on all of my glasses. But here you can see the Blue and Beyond in action. It's a great technology and it makes your glasses super versatile. And as I mentioned, this can be fitted to any model. So for example, you could have one of the really sleek Premier de Cartier rimless frames. I love these in the all metal construction. I think it's fantastic. And you can have it where it's like this indoors and like this outdoors. This is with a Pioneer or green tint. That green and gold combo I think is stunning. It's class and it's definitely one of my favorite combinations. And it just means that you have the maximum versatility. A lot of people who buy Cartier understandably, they want to make the most out of it. And this really does that, because you can wear them indoors as glasses, you can wear them outdoors as sunglasses, you can wear them all day long, and they'll be perfect in almost all conditions. The only exception to that is when driving. Photochromic lenses aren't ideal because they don't really activate behind the windscreen. But if you're out walking, they'll work just like sunglasses. And the final, very contentious subject is the Cartier logo. I've mentioned this in separate videos, but amongst collectors, it is considered kind of inappropriate to engrave the Cartier logo on a customized lens. And the reason for that is because that is not Cartier's creation. That is your creation and my creation if I'm involved in it. So why should it have the Cartier logo? It's actually kind of an infringement on their trademark. So it is frowned upon to do that. A much classier option, in my opinion, if you really must have an engraving on your lens, is to have your initials, something that's even more personal to you. That just about wraps it up, except I've got one new piece to show you as a real special bonus, because now we have a Santos de Cartier with buffalo horn temples. And this has made my year. In 2023, this is possibly the most exciting Cartier release. We just got these into stock. I think we're the first in the UK to have them. And I love how you have that combination of the classic Santos de Cartier with the exposed screws and the buffalo horn temples. I love it in the white because usually the white can be a bit much, the way that it comes right through to the front of the temple. Sometimes that's a bit overpowering when it's too much white, but having it just down kind of halfway along the temple, I think tones it down a little bit and makes it incredibly wearable. I love this with my outfit today. I think it works really well. I think you could wear this casually every day. And if you wanted a slightly more formal look, then the black buffalo horn does that nicely. My only criticism, I guess, with the black buffalo horn is that you can barely tell that it's buffalo horn. But I guess people who buy this, it's not to show off to others, it's to make you feel special in your glasses. And there is no more special material than buffalo horn. So I'm really interested how you guys are going to customize these glasses, because we've not made a pair yet. They literally came into stock today and I was so excited to film this video. Let me know your thoughts on these new pieces. And to give you a little bit of inspiration to close out the video, here are some custom bi-gradient tints that we've created recently. This is a orange to yellow bi-gradient. We made this actually last year, just before Christmas, for a client in California. We made this where it's photochromic. So it starts off this tint and then becomes a dark brown amber sunglass outdoors. That can be done with any of these tints. This I am loving. This purple to pink bi-gradient, I think that is gorgeous. I think that is a tint that a lot of people are gonna love. A bit more unusual, but for those who want something maybe a bit more artistic and quirky, we have pink to yellow green, I guess, and blue to that same yellow green. Just to give you a bit of inspiration of what can be done. But of course, anything that we've covered in today's video can be done on any Cartier rimless glasses. And that is the beauty of them. And I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, make sure to give us a like, subscribe to the channel for more of the best eyewear content on the internet. And I think the best Cartier eyewear content on the internet as well. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks guys, bye-bye.